Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And today we're becoming princes.
Or maybe we're just fighting over light fixture.
So pick out your wishes.
And boy, genuflect!
Because today we're bringing you
Aladdin! The line from the beginning of Prince Ali.
Oh.
Show some respect, boy, genuflect, down on one knee.
Oh. Aladdin was released on May 24th, 2019, just 5 days ago, $183 million budget, which is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. A lot of money for a remake. Already made it back. Did very well. It's already made $255.8 million worldwide. I think we're going to see a big year at the box office. 58% critic rating, 94% audience on Rotten Tomatoes, 54 on Metacritic. Ethan, do you have a negative review from a professional critic?
I do. It comes to us today from The New Yorker, specifically our boy Anthony Lane over at The New Yorker. And he says, in short, it's a whole old world. And I was actually pretty disappointed with Anthony Lane. I read his whole review this time. It's not something I normally do. But normally he's got a little bit more to say than that and something a little bit more nuanced. But literally his whole review is just... It wasn't a cartoon. I didn't like it.
I've seen a lot of non-nuanced negative reviews.
Well, we'll get into that.
We'll get to that. Yeah. This is a movie-heavy episode, listener.
Yeah, this is a polarizing movie as well.
It is. Richard Roper of Chicago Sun-Times says Marwa Kenzari snarls it up as a villainous Jafar, while Nassim Pedrad is endearing and funny as Jasmine's handmaiden and best friend Dahlia, which I think is a hilarious review because it has nothing to do with Jasmine, Aladdin, or Genie.
Yeah, nothing whatsoever.
Nothing at all.
They were just like, I'm staying away from this.
I don't want to deal with it.
I'm going to talk about the B-cast.
Right. Now,
hold on.
Bacon and Eggs is...
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Bacon and Eggs brought to you by Carlin Brothers Coffee. Hot cocoa available now for those cold Arabian nights. We're singing during the promos now, Ethan. We're singing.
We are.
Unfortunately,
I don't know the words to Arabian Nights because A, I've only seen the original movie like twice, and B, I couldn't Fortnite. I can hear it during this movie because the vocals are mixed wrong.
I might have been a theater thing because I heard it just fine.
Nope. This is not. I am not the only person to have this complaint.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe my theater was wrong.
I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
But Bacon and Eggs... Brought to you by Carlin Brothers Coffee, the best coffee in the world, best hot cocoa in the world, best t-shirts, mugs, stickers. I know a lot of you out there love stickers. A lot of you say, hey, Bacon and Eggs, you should make stickers. And you know what? It's like one button we need to press. We just won't. I don't know why. I have nothing against stickers, but we seem to not want to do it. And it's not even like an Ethan thing. It's like a Tyler thing. Anyway, Bacon and Eggs brought to you by
It's a me thing. It's me not ordering stickers. I'll be straight up with it.
But I don't want to order them and ship them from me. I want...
Right, but that's the problem is the ones from Teespring are so bad.
I know. That's my thing is I don't want to put out a bad sticker.
Right, it's like your option is note card size sticker.
And I'm not a fan of that. But I think we have a vinyl option now. We've unlocked some options. If you want us to unlock more options, be sure to go to teespring.com and buy our shirts. But that's not what we're talking about right now. Carlin Brothers already has excellent stickers, excellent coffee, excellent shirts.
You know, you get a sticker when you order a bag of coffee.
That's true. I've got one on a Tempur-Pedic cup, not sponsored.
But the stickers are sponsored.
The stickers are sponsored.
Anyway, so if you want to get stickers or caffeine-free t-shirts or caffeine-free hot cocoa, I think, yes, caffeine-free hot cocoa. We're going to go with that one. Or sure. Caffeine-full coffee or tea. I just said Ko-fi.
Ko-fi. Go to carlinbrotherscoffee.com/discount/bacon or /eggs for 10% off your first order and go to /eggs or /bacon for 10% off your second order, respectively.
Tyler,
anyway, I need a binary review and I have to talk about this. I could not... I saw the movie. I let out at.
You're just gonna start that whole sentence over.
I let out at 10 p.m. from the movie theater. I fell asleep at 4 a.m. because I could not stop thinking about my thoughts on this.
That's wild because you texted me at 1 o'clock in the morning about it.
Yeah. I couldn't. I left the theater with a bunch of people. Emily's cousin was like, "Man, that was a crazy Will Smith movie that had some Aladdin in it." And I looked at him dead in the eye and I was like, "Name who voiced Aladdin originally."
You can't. I have no idea.
You can't because it's a Robin Williams movie with a little bit of Aladdin in it. That was the joke.
Correct.
That was the whole joke.
I heard you have a joke.
Because that's the thing. I do have a joke. Ethan, if laughter is truly the best medicine, why aren't we pronouncing it Medicine? Or Medicini, like Medicini Alfredo. Because you laugh every time.
Why would it be Medicine?
Because it's CI. That's the Italian Medicine.
Okay.
Anyway, Medicini Alfredo. I've wanted to say that on the show for like 3 weeks, and there's nowhere to slide that little one-liner in, that little zinger. So I'm giving it to you now. Binary review.
Hold on,
Binary
real quick, Tyler.
review.
Before we get to the binary review,
Oh my God.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Tyler, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready for this Sunday night where WWE champ John Cena defends his title in WWE Super Slam? It was supposed to start. My phone was supposed to start playing the theme song. But I was listening to the Aladdin soundtrack on Spotify, and I didn't think on my computer, and I didn't think that would mess with my phone, but it did.
Okay,
it
so
was
what does
just
that
gonna
have to do with
start.
Super Slam?
It was just
I
gonna
see.
start playing. Like it was gonna start playing "The Time Is Now" by John Cena. The time is now. Parentheses John Cena by John Cena. FYI.
A binary review. I have an important caveat to this binary review.
I don't. It's a 1. Go see it. It's better than the original movie in every single way. Go see it.
It's not better than every single way. It is a 1, but you need to spend your money on Booksmart first. I don't care if you buy a ticket to Booksmart and then go see Aladdin and sneak past the guards. But if you're going to see both and you only buy one ticket, it needs to be to Booksmart.
We say not reviewing Booksmart.
We say, I know, I actually felt so bad about it because like film Twitter was like, if you're not seeing Booksmart and you're seeing Aladdin this weekend, then
Fortnite.
You. And I was like, I saw it early release, and I've seen Aladdin now, and I've seen both, but I am directly promoting Aladdin.
I've bought. I don't know how A-List gets counted. I still haven't quite figured that out. But I've bought 3 tickets through A-List to see Booksmart. I just haven't seen it yet.
And honestly, if you're looking for the best movie currently playing in theaters, it's Avengers Endgame. But if you're looking for the second best movie currently playing in theaters, it is Booksmart. And you should absolutely stop what you're doing. I don't care if you're on your drive to work right now. Don't go to work. Go see Booksmart. Very important. Aladdin, the one remake. Remake Aladdin is a 1. We need to go through a lot here, Ethan. Tell me.
So, I just want to throw a caveat out there real quick, okay? Because there are people right now listening to this show that are shocked at what I just said. And I want to get the elephant, Apu is the character from The Simpsons, the Abu-sized elephant out of the room real quick. I was actively rooting for this movie to suck.
So you went in with genuinely low expectations. I wanted to hate
this movie. I didn't have any expectations necessarily. I don't think the trailers looked that bad, but I wanted this movie to flop. I wanted it to be bad, and I wanted it to do bad. Because I truthfully don't think that I think that Disney remaking all their movies and not bringing anything original to the screen is only hurtful right now.
I just don't think that they're not bringing anything new to the screen. I think Endgame was new and brought to the screen.
That's not Disney, though.
I know it's not Disney, but it is a Disney property. And
I also
know
think that Disney buying up every property and then just dismantling film studios left and right is not a good thing for the industry.
No, I agree with you. And I think we are within 5 years of like a law being made about what Disney's doing.
Yeah, already is a law made about what Disney's doing.
Well, I know, but
this is 1920s trust busting shirt going on.
Right. And I think we're going to see some 2020s trust busting shirt going on.
Yeah. But anyway, Dumbo, by all accounts, nobody liked it, nobody saw it, nobody wanted it, and the greater Disney community was not stoked for this movie to come out.
At least from our perspective.
I mean, we have pretty regular contact with some die-hard Disney fans.
Right, but that's
some of whom saw it Thursday night and were just like, I wish this movie didn't exist.
I don't understand that thought.
So, I do just want to get that out of the way. I was rooting for this movie to suck. I actively wanted it to be bad. I wanted to be right about, like, maybe Disney should stop making these remakes. I'm still not that jazzed about The Lion King, but that's mostly because I don't like Beyonce that much.
You're going to lose that fight. I mean, not with me, but you're going to lose that fight to most people.
I just, like, I want, if The Lion King is bad, I want everyone to make a consensus and come out and be like, that was bad because of Beyonce. Like, she just way overdid it. Because I don't see a world in which she doesn't way overdo it. But that all things aside, and I've probably seen the original Aladdin maybe twice in the 90s and once in the 2000s. I had no stakes going into this movie. Like, I did not give a flying Fortnite if it was anything like the cartoon.
Right. And there's an important note to make about the cartoon, and I don't know if this is everyone's situation. I know the first 2 acts of the cartoon down, but I also watched it like 100,000 times when I was like 9, and I would fall asleep before the 3rd act. So I don't even know if the 3rd act here is similar.
Yeah,
I know that Jafar becomes a genie, but that's about where my memory of it stops. And I know that Genie gets set free.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. For me, this may as well have been a new movie. Like, I'm familiar a little bit with the songs. I don't think I could sing you any of them off cold.
You wouldn't know like a whole new world, like at least like the chorus?
Yeah, I could sing you the chorus, but
let's I want to start with
that's
the
what
cast.
I was just giving a little bit of background on my thing about Aladdin. So if your complaint about Aladdin is like Anthony Lane's and you're sitting there saying, well, it wasn't like the movie I grew up with, it wasn't like the movie I loved, you know, I hear you, but like that was not a factor for me. So take that in consideration when you hear the way I feel about this movie.
Let's talk Will Smith as Genie.
I loved him.
I think I also loved him, and I think if you sit down and you say, well, he's not Robin Williams.
Well, he's not.
Well, no.
Okay.
Well, no, sure, he's not Robin Williams.
He's not Robin Williams. He is not a... So, Robin Williams, in watching Aladdin with Robin Williams in it, is like watching a band that has one very good instrument in it. You know, it's like watching a band that has a great guitar player who does just like a rockin' solo, but the rest of them are kind of average musicians that are sort of failing to put a thing together behind this great guitar solo. I think this one was much more of like watching like a tight jazz quintet where everybody's playing in the pocket.
In here.
What?
There's a weak voice here.
There's a weak voice, but I think as a whole, I'm not talking about singing specifically. I'm talking about everybody's performance. I think that this movie worked better as a cohesive piece because I think Will Smith was able to sort of put himself in the movie more than Robin Williams did.
Right. I feel like Robin Williams was locked in a room for 2 days and then they just made a movie out of it.
Well, he was. I mean, that's a fact. It's like
right.
Robin Williams' performance changed the way the whole way they thought about voice acting.
Right. And it was amazing. And it truly is amazing to this day.
For sure. It's an incredible performance. I was watching the scenes, because they're not on Spotify, I was watching the scenes of some of his songs before we got on here, just to compare how Will Smith's songs kind of stacked up.
I don't even think Robin Williams is a singer in this, but like I know he did sing the songs, but Will Smith's song, like Robin Williams were like a character doing a song, and I felt like Will Smith's songs were like a genuine musician type doing a song. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, he's not the greatest singer in the world, but he's not the worst.
No, and he's got the flow. Like, he did the rap thing, and he really wasn't bad at
No.
Maybe he wasn't good at writing them, although I like his rap music, but he wasn't bad at like the flow part of it, like the rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, Big Willie Style had problems indifferent of Will Smith being able to rap.
Right.
they were bad songs. They just weren't executed well. I
think Will Smith as Genie is great. There were not enough moments of like blue CGI there were moments of blue CGI where I was like, that's blue CGI. You know, like my suspension of disbelief was like literally broken. But there were not enough of those that I was like, no, we got to take this out. We got to make him just look like Will Smith all the time.
I definitely preferred the scenes where he did just look like Will Smith.
Yeah, me too.
And I think, and again, I think that his character fit a lot better into the movie. In the original, in the cartoon, even as a kid, I was like, they would know that this is a supernatural being hanging out with them. Like, they would be aware that this is not like a normal guy.
Yeah, they would catch on to the fact that Robin Williams is like bonkers.
Yeah,
and magical.
And yeah, switching into different people. So I really have truthfully no complaints about Will Smith's performance as the Genie. I think that there are arguments to be made that he sort of underplayed all the parts a little bit, but a lot of the criticism I've heard so far is that they made him try to be too similar to Robin Williams. And I just didn't see that at all.
I didn't see that at all either. I felt like there were scenes where you had to pull Robin Williams lines because they were perfect and they made sense.
For sure.
But there were also scenes where he was able to make it his own, and I felt like the balance between those two was enough that, you know, I mean, it worked. And like, there were moments that made me genuinely laugh when he was like, can you make me a prince? And he like snaps and make an Arabian Fresh prince on the hilltop.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was dying. I thought that was very funny. I think that all in all, he was just an excellent character.
Yeah.
I will say, I didn't say this before. I did miss about 15 minutes of the movie. Specifically, so there, I do want to talk about that altogether, but the set piece of Aladdin going into the Cave of Wonders. So whatever Jafar says to convince him and whatever he does going in, I literally walked back in like as he picked up the lamp.
So
I know what happens. I've seen the film, but I don't know. Like I've seen the original. I don't know what the set piece looks like and feels like, and how they find the rug or carpet. So that there's just a little bit that's missing.
It's very cool. It's very like cave at the end of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Like the cave that holds the treasure box.
Right.
Where there's just treasure everywhere. Yeah. And basically, you know, Aladdin gets captured and Jafar's just like, I can make you rich. And Aladdin's like, rich enough to impress a princess? I don't think he says that, but that's definitely what he's going through. And then basically, Jafar. He and Jafar just kind of like sit on a hilltop and just have like a man-to-man, which was interesting. It's like... It was real like.
Can we just? I want to talk about the whole cast, but I want to go Genie then Jafar. Marwan Kenzari as Jafar. Who's complaining about this?
Everybody is complaining about this.
Did you want somebody that looked like the cartoon Jafar? Because that person does not exist.
No, so they wanted somebody that sounded like the cartoon Jafar.
That person doesn't exist.
They wanted somebody, they wanted like Mr. Intimidating deep voice guy. And instead what they got was Drake.
I thought he was brilliant.
I did too. Loved him. I think it was a portrayal to me that made a lot more sense with the Jafar character. When you draw parallels to Jafar being this like snake charmer type guy, he's not gonna be big and scary and intimidating and Mr. Deep Voice Scar type. He's gonna be not. Like he's the snake oil salesman. He's greasy and slimy. He's a con man.
Yeah, and he looks like John Negroni.
He looks nothing like John Negroni.
What are you talking about? He looks exactly like John Negroni.
No, he doesn't.
Pretty sure
I don't know. I know that they are referring to him, they being the collective universe, is referring to him now as Hot Jafar.
I'll take that. He was pretty ripped.
Yeah. As was everybody in this movie. There's definitely still some Disneyism going on. Like there's the first scene where Aladdin sees Jasmine in the bazaar, and it's the Monty Python thing. Like, how did he know she was a princess? She was the only one not covered in shirt. Like,
yeah, she looked very good. I do want to talk about specifically that point, but before we get to that, Nasim Pedrad as Dahlia, like the character that didn't exist before. I have no idea how I feel about this. Am I like mad that this happened, or do I love it? I love that instead of the snake oil salesman telling the story, it's actually Genie telling the story on the ship with his wife that he met.
I did quite enjoy that, yeah.
I loved that it tied it all back together, and it made sense, and it was like this cool thing.
Right, and he's got the kids, and they're like, oh, but Dad, the stories are so much better when you sing. And he's like, nah, I ain't singing. No way.
Arabian Nights.
Yeah, and he turns around and sings it, and I was like, okay, this is an interesting way, because like that's such a, this is Ali and the 40 Thieves or whatever. Like it's the whole 1001 Arabian Nights, Scheherazade.
Right.
So it is just a story. It's like it's a folk tale, and I did really like that the whole idea of this being told as because it gives it a different level of reality where you could take it however you want. Like, was he really ever a genie?
Right, or is it just this epic tale?
Right, and there's no answer for that. It's just whatever makes your brain able to wrap it around more.
Right, and it makes it a myth passed down. Stories and stories, which I love mythology. Do you want to talk about the leads?
Yeah, let's talk about the leads.
I'm gonna make this point real quick, and I'm gonna make it clear, and we're gonna move on from this point.
Okay.
I've seen multiple comments that Jasmine was not pretty enough. Which one? Who the f*** are you? And
what do you look like? Person saying that.
Two, except for maybe my wife, I don't think there's a person prettier than Naomi Scott as Jasmine in this movie.
All of these people, all of the people in this movie were just like way too attractive.
Way attractive. Way
even grown 50-year-old man Will Smith. I was like, Will Smith got jacked.
Will Smith did get jacked, and he looks good.
Yeah.
And he like totally redeemed himself for that rewind time thing, which I didn't even think was that bad, but then it like became a cringe thing, and now I have to cringe at the rewind
Either
thing.
way, not pretty enough to be a princess is such a weird thing to like release out of your human mouth.
Listen, and it's not just like neckbeard dudes.
No,
I know. Like bona fide feminist women saying this.
Right. Did you not watch The Princess Diaries?
Right. Like, what do you mean not pretty enough to be Jasmine? And she
even when Mia Thermopolis has the curly hair, she's still a princess.
Yeah.
That's like the whole point of the movie. Doesn't matter what she looks like. Doesn't matter if she gets hot. Doesn't matter if she gets like, if she gets the whole thing down. She's still just like dorky student person. Ah, man. I don't know.
Anyway, Naomi Scott.
Let's talk about the leads. Mana Musad cannot sing.
Yeah. Cannot sing.
Cannot
he got the
sing.
rest of it mostly down. Can't really act either.
No, I disagree. I thought he was great acting. I believed him. I liked all of his spoken parts, and honestly, he has like 1.5 songs. It does not
his
matter.
One Jump Ahead was genuinely awful.
It was, but it's like a minute long.
Yeah.
And then he occasionally does the really awkward like street rat riff raff.
I don't buy that. I also cannot sing, but you can train singing.
I mean, I could sing that part better than he did. I could tell you right now, like I could get a recording that sounds better than that out of my own body.
Do you think it's the script's fault or his fault? The scene where him and Genie are talking and he's like, Aladdin is no more, man. I'm Prince Ali now. That's the whole thing. And you're like, what is going on? When did you become so all in on the Prince Ali? You were guilty about this like yesterday.
It's because it worked for him. It immediately worked for him. He's like, nah. we good. We are all good. Like, I just got out of so much trouble. Like, you just saved my life, man. We're good. You and I, we got Jafar, man. We're good. Everything's good. And even the genie's just like, oh, so you're gonna drink from that cup. And
the genie's wisdom was brilliant.
Genie gets it. He's seen it a million times before. You know, every 1,000 years he sees this go around.
Yeah. What do you think of Naomi Scott? That girl could sing.
Hold on, roll that back real quick.
Okay.
I didn't think that was a problem. I didn't think that was weird scripting. I mean, maybe it was a little bit awkward, like, it was just, you kind of got dropped into him all of a sudden being all in on that. But I don't think it was a problem.
I felt like it was a little disjointing. I genuinely do feel like I was watching the movie and I was like, where are we? How did we
I could see that.
I could
see that.
That being said,
and I'm sure there's this deleted scene. Like,
yeah. Was there a set piece you didn't like?
No, not really.
I think I have a favorite. I think I do have a clear favorite.
Oh, my favorite is the whole Prince Ali sequence.
Oh, my favorite is the Prince Ali sequence. But my second favorite is Jafar pushing Aladdin out a window.
Yeah.
I thought that whole sequence was cool. The falling was cool. The actually hitting the water. Because that was the thing in the previews. And even they set you up for it in the movie where you're like, oh, the carpet's just going to catch him. And of course, like, there was no part of me that was like, oh, Aladdin's going to die. But like, it was like, how is he going to get out of this? And then Genie just like uses his wish. I don't know. I don't remember if that's canonical, if that's how it happens. But
that's the thing, though. And this is what I'm talking about, though. This is what I'm talking about is I need people in general to get that idea out of their head about this, because it's not the same movie and there's not a way that it happens. It's still effective storytelling.
It is effective storytelling, and it is literally like a spoken myth in the movie, which means that like different people are going to tell the story different ways.
And that is definitely, I think that was probably part of the conversation of, you know, do we bring Will Smith in, bring the genie in as this Greek chorus narrator to kind of insinuate that, like, okay, this is how we're telling the story now, guys. Got it?
Yeah.
Do
you
good?
Think if your name, let me ask you a quick question. If you're like a 50-year-old white dude, right, and you're heterosexual and your name is literally Guy Ritchie, how many movies about the Middle East do you need to make before it's okay to be you?
I don't even know what that question is like leading toward.
I'm just asking, like, what kind of ridiculous white bread name is Guy Ritchie? Like,
I don't know,
man
he's the
who
same guy
is
that's
rich.
married to Madonna. Like,
I thought he did great. I really, I love all of the set pieces. The Prince Ali thing, I could watch that just on loop.
Yeah, all day long.
Like if 4 years from now my kid's like, can we watch Prince Ali again? I'm gonna be like, you darn straight we can. YouTube 8K Prince Ali.
Yep, absolutely. Best use of color so far in 2019.
Yeah.
Just this whole movie. The whole movie was, aside from how you feel about the leads, how you feel about everything, just beautiful.
Yeah, it genuinely
was just beautiful. Because they tossed around the idea of shooting this in Morocco and sort of making it look like that. But I think in the end, most of the city is just sort of fabricated from CGI and sets.
Yeah.
And normally I'm against that in movies of this sort of like grandiose caliber. I like to see an actual, you know, set. I like to see him get out of the soundstage a little bit.
Yeah.
But
that bothers me with like the Thor films. Yeah.
It bothers me with Avengers Endgame and
Nothing
Black
about
Panther.
Avengers
and
Endgame bothers me.
It
does bother me with Black Panther. People always talk about Wakanda being
soundstage.
People talk about Wakanda being this like ultra detailed city, but it's like the sets they built are really detailed, but the shots of the city, I mean, that could be Coruscant, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a city, man.
Anyway, to get to my point, I like that they developed Agrabah as this new, never-before-seen, because it doesn't exist, city.
Yeah. And I thought
they were able to make it in such a fanciful way where, like, there's this grand, like, boulevard right by the water with no docks next to it where you can get these great shots leading right up to the palace that just wouldn't exist in any city ever, because that's, like, valuable, you know, trade real estate.
Right.
It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. That's the whole thing. And it's like, it's not a city that makes sense, but it's a city that looks really cool for the movie.
Yeah.
So I was on board with the decision to sort of fabricate this city from nothing.
And I thought Agrabah was very cool.
And there's been a lot of complaints about that. Like, why can't we just set it in a specific place? Like, why is America afraid of the Middle East or Southeast or South Asia or the Indian subcontinent? Like, why are we so, like, worried about just saying, oh, this takes place in, you know, Baghdad or you know, Cairo or any of the other cities in the sort of Arabian Nights tales. And it's, I hear you, I get it, but I just don't think that's the fight to have with this movie.
No, I don't either. And I think this looks, like, my mind goes to like Egypt because of the Nile. Look, I mean, it looks Middle Eastern enough.
Well, so the original was said to be, the original Agrabah was said to be set on the Jordan River.
Oh, okay.
And this is clearly more of like a port city on, you know, you would guess like the Persian Gulf.
Right.
So, but the argument I guess that they're saying is like, why couldn't you shoot it in, you know, one of these cities. Why couldn't you shoot it in?
But you know.
And it's like, I'm not even gonna finish that sentence.
Okay. Naomi.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about the leads.
Scott.
Yeah. Naomi Scott is Jasmine.
Can sing.
Yeah.
Like no tomorrow.
And that was the only time I was mad about. Truthfully, the only time I cared that Mena Massoud could not sing is when they did A Whole New World together, and like it was just awkward
because she's
great and he's not.
Right. You know what I think is really interesting and sad? Naomi Scott and Mena Massoud like combined have like 9 film credits.
Yeah, I don't think that's sad.
Well, I know I love that they're using new actors, but I think it's sad that like Naomi Scott, who's a genuinely talented, beautiful actress, is just not getting.
She's also 24. Like,
yeah, she's super young.
Like. She'll be fine. She's Princess Jasmine in a movie that just made $225 million in its opening weekend. She'll be all right.
And she's Kimberly Hart.
Who's that?
The Pink Ranger, Ethan.
Okay. She's not the Pink Ranger, though.
No, she's not the Pink Ranger from my youth.
Whatever that girl's name was.
She was blonde.
Yeah. I've not seen...
had more fun.
I have not seen any of those Power Rangers movies.
I think there's only one.
I've not seen that Power Rangers movie.
I think it got better reviews than this. No, it didn't.
It did Almost not.
It got a 49.
Oh, speaking of reviews, hang on real quick. Dial it back 2 seconds. Just want to drop this in there. Opening score for Rocketman's at 89.
I've heard that.
I am very excited.
That's what we should do for next week. Starts Pride Month. June is Pride Month, and we want to show our allegiance. Maybe we should do Rocketman.
We should absolutely do Rocketman.
Yeah.
Forgot it was coming out.
Yeah, me too. I'm so happy it's got good reviews. I love Elton John. I love Taron Egerton.
Same. I'm very excited.
So that was all I needed.
That was definitely a one where I looked at the trailer and I'm like, this might suck.
This
very much might suck. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, 50-something, 59, I think. Really? 53.
Not surprised.
31 reviews, but 55, actually, with 31 reviews. And honestly, I think that's probably about as good as you could ever hope for.
Yeah.
I think
it's a kaiju movie.
They're
not supposed to be like good.
I think that's gonna be a really awesome 55.
Yeah, I do think sometimes with the 40 to 60 range, more so in like the 50 to 70 range, you get kind of like this is either really good, my subjective opinion, or very bad, my subjective opinion.
Yep, basically.
And
what did the Godzilla, the most recent one, get? Godzilla. I don't know. I don't care. I just want to see it for that one scene where that person's like, "My God," and Bradley Whitford goes, "Zilla."
That's the best moment in cinema this year.
Okay, Godzilla 2014 got a 75. Okay.
Oh dang, that's
so. No, I'm not surprised though.
Hey, what about King Kong? That's supposed to be in this universe.
It's
not like old King Kong.
But like Godzilla 75. Godzilla 2014. It's got no returning characters except Ken Watanabe's character. So like it's a completely different movie. I'm not surprised. I don't think that's a death sentence. I honestly think that for a sequel to a kaiju movie, you're doing pretty good.
Kong Skull Island also got a 75. You know, I'm starting to figure out why they made sequels to these movies.
Yeah, they went and made a bunch of money and people didn't hate them.
Yeah. Plus, listen to this cast. I mean, Brie Larson.
Although
John
the last Godzilla King of the Monsters, 1956, got an 83.
Kaiju movies, Ethan. It's a different time.
I love these movies. I mean, I haven't seen Godzilla 2014, but I love the original Godzilla movies.
I remember watching them as a youth. I know they're available in all the Goodwill stores.
Oh, it went up to 56 while I was looking at it.
Yeah, the reviews are rolling in.
Oh, it's gone up to 58. We're talking about it. It's happening. We're breaking news right now.
Go
see Godzilla King of the Monsters.
To ye listener, but after you see Booksmart. Okay.
And Rocketman.
I'm going to pull up mine. Ethan, I actually took notes on this film.
Okay, so I want to talk about... Okay, so while you're pulling up your notes, or I don't know what you're about to say, but I don't really care what you're about to say, because I'm talking to you. On the subject of characters, okay, I want to talk about a character that they improved so much in this movie, and that is Carpet.
Oh, no, the Carpet had character always.
Yeah, but the Carpet's such a great character in this movie. He's got so much, like he's got so much personality.
Okay, on that point, I agree that the Carpet has personality here, and I liked the Carpet, and it's very hard to make a thing without a face, very personable and likable.
That's what I'm saying, is like, this is a 2D object.
Yes.
In a modern movie that they, like, when Carpet got ripped in half, I felt for it. I was like, no, Carpet.
Abu went from BB-8 to R2-D2, man.
Is that a positive or negative swing?
That's a negative. BB-8 can do anything.
Abu went from BB-8 to, like, Gonk Droid.
Abu was awful.
I could not have cared less about Abu in this movie.
There was a few scenes where they'd look at Abu and I'd be like, ha, like, Abu, T? And he, like, passed out asleep. I was like, that's my boy. That's my dude right there. But outside of that moment, it was just like, you took this really cute hand-drawn thing and made it a horrifying CGI
Yeah, no, it goes
creation.
in this order. It goes Monkey from Jack from Pirates of the Caribbean, Abu from the cartoon, Capuchin Monkey from Night at the Museum, Monkey that eats the date in Indiana Jones, and then CGI Abu in this movie.
CGI Abu was genuinely horrifying.
Yeah. So was Iago.
I was with it.
I wasn't.
Iago doesn't need to be Gilbert Gottfried.
No, but I needed more out of Alan Tudyk, though.
I could have taken more. But I felt like if we're going to do this thing where Iago is a scary thing, like a creepy bird, we're going to make it a creepy bird and we're going to double down. And you know what? I was with it.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like we needed gritty bird.
I liked when they turned Iago into like a braviary.
Yeah, that was cool.
That
but like,
was cool.
I don't know. It's just like you make a big deal out of A, not bringing Gilbert Gottfried back to do it, and B, casting Alan Tudyk, who like is notorious for taking parts like this and truly making it into something. And like, it could have been anybody voicing that parrot.
Yeah. Second. See, there you go.
Yeah, but like compare that to Disney flagship bird roles played by Alan Tudyk. I will take Hey Hey over this any day.
Same. I believe he plays a bird in Rio also, which is not a Disney film, but
I would be absolutely lying to you if I said I'd ever seen a Rio movie.
What? I thought you loved those. No, you know what movie you love? I'm about to tell you about yourself.
Okay.
Ethan is a Surf's Up stan.
Yeah, Fortnite. Fucking love Surf's Up. Are you kidding me? I Fortnite. Fucking love Surf's Up. That movie slaps, dude. Let me tell you about animated movies about penguins. Surf's Up, Greater Than Sign, Happy Feet. Surf's Up, man. Surf's Up, absolutely Fortnite. When was the last time you saw that movie? Because that movie is amazing.
I've never seen Surf's Up.
Dude, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
I don't think I do.
No, you really do. Shia LaBeouf, Jeff Bridges, Zooey Deschanel.
Ugh. I mean, that doesn't sell me on anything at all.
It does.
That just means that DreamWorks paid a lot of money.
No. It's 2007. It's like prime Shia LaBeouf.
Is it?
Yes.
Surf's Up is certified fresh, which, fun fact, is on a list of 7 certified fresh James Woods movies. No, there's a bunch more back in the day. But
who the hell's James Woods?
James Wood is Hades from Hercules.
No, man, it's got Jeff Bridges playing the Island Kahuna guy. Oh, it's got Diedrich Bader from Office Space as the evil penguin. Tank Evans.
Who was Diedrich Bader in Office Space?
He's the guy, the neighbor.
Oh man, you know what's funny? I recently started working in an office. That movie, do not watch it. If you work in an office and you like your job, if you watch that movie, you will hate your job.
Okay, so let's hop back to characters real quick because I have a point I need to make. Okay. We've done this a couple times now, and this is a PSA. I'm just gonna start this by saying, dear white people, okay? We've done this a couple times, okay? I want to just roll it back to Oscar season real quick, okay? Yes, it was a great performance, but Adam Driver is not allowed to be the reason you like Black Klansman. You can't say that out loud. Stop it. You're watching the movie for the wrong reason. Stop pointing out the one good thing a white person does in an entirely black movie. Stop it. That being said, Billy Magnuson is not allowed to be the reason you like this movie. Shut the Fortnite up.
He's also not funny in this movie.
No, he's not. But oh my god, if I haven't seen 100,000 tweets of like, man, Aladdin was really good. Gotta love Billy Magnuson, man.
I feel like maybe you got a Billy Magnuson fan, right? Like imagine for 2 seconds, you, Ethan, got like a small speaking role in like The Lion King as like Timon's, which one's the pig?
Pumbaa.
As Pumbaa's like cousin, right? And you get like 2 lines. Everyone you know would be like,
a Fortnite.
Loved Ethan in The Lion King.
No, for sure. But this is like, this is not like Billy Magnuson stan Twitter hours. Either way, if you came out of Aladdin and you thought, man, the only reason I liked this movie was because of Billy Magnuson, keep your opinion to yourself.
We have very different opinions.
You're just not, but that's the thing is you're just not helping anybody.
Right.
Like this isn't also a movie that's designed or should be designed to celebrate white people.
Correct. It is about Black Genie and the Arabian Nights.
That was the thing is like I saw so many after Oscar season like, oh man, really love Black Klansman. Adam Driver just such a great actor.
Dude, he is.
And he did a great performance of Black Klansman, but it's still just just try a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just pretend. Just don't pretend.
Don't pretend. It's just look at the movie and for something. So looking for somebody that looks different than you and try to find something good they did. And thank God in this movie you didn't have to look far, okay? Because this movie did a very good job of bringing new non-white faces to the screen.
People are saying Marwan Kenzari's hot.
People are saying Naomi
Scott's
named Kenzari.
hot.
People are saying Mena Masada is hot. They're all hot, okay? Everybody in this movie is beautiful. Even the Sultan, man, that Fortnite mustache.
Yo, he did have one hell of a stash.
Like Kenneth Branagh as Hercule Poirot wishes he could grow that mustache.
I just wish I could be Kenneth Branagh. I'm reading aloud right now, Chamber of Secrets. Do you know how hard it is to be Kenneth Branagh?
Yes, I do. How does I can't remember. How does what's his name, Jim Dale, read that one? I feel like he doesn't do a Kenneth Branagh voice.
I don't think he does either, because he's not described as Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh was like a movie choice.
Yeah, but like
a change.
But like that was the wild thing that I thought.
Maybe, or was that Slughorn that was the change?
I think it was Slughorn.
I know Slughorn was a big change.
Yeah. But no, I remember listening to the, and this is not like a commentary of which one's better, it's just something I thought was interesting. It's like, you could guess that Kenneth Branagh, like, if you had told me that Kenneth Branagh was casted based on Stephen Fry's reading of the part, I would have said that was accurate.
Interesting.
And I'm not saying that was him doing the part correctly in the book, it's just like, he nailed the Kenneth Branagh voice, even if he wasn't trying to. But yeah, it's very hard to be Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh is an incredible actor. He's an okay director. Thor was alright.
You know, I mean, sometimes you just got
That was just a bold call, man, to like, be like, who are we going to get to direct Thor? Kenneth Branagh sounds good.
He did Cinderella as well. That got good reviews.
Yeah. I was reading in the IMDb trivia for this movie before we got on the call.
He was considered, right?
No. Jim Carrey was the original choice.
Yeah. And listen, I actually wanted to talk about Carrey as Genie. Listen, Carrey as Genie would have been genius.
Yeah.
But way too close to Robin Williams.
It definitely would have been. But, like, I wouldn't be upset if they'd made, like, an alternate version.
Or if I just got, like, Friend Like Me from Jim Carrey.
I got Friend Like Me and Prince Ali from Jim Carrey. Yeah. That's all I really want.
I'll take it. Listen, it would have genuinely been genius. And I think Will Smith, honestly, I'm struggling to think of other people who do well. Maybe The Rock, maybe Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart would have been problematic. I don't know why. I love Kevin Hart. I'm team Kevin Hart. I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Dude's whole MO is spread positivity, which is my whole MO.
Yeah, he would have been great. I don't think you could have gotten The Rock. He's Maui. It was too soon.
It was definitely too soon.
But there's like, oh my God. Did you see Dave Bautista's getting his tooth fairy?
He is?
Yeah, what the hell is it called? Dave Bautista is confirming himself as like the next Rock. My Spy is what it's called.
Can I tell you about Dave Bautista real quick?
What about Dave Bautista?
Guardians Volume 1, Drax is a better character than the Scorpion King.
I agree.
In fact, I don't even think The Rock says anything as the Scorpion King.
I don't think he does either. But Dave Bautista is getting a movie where he is like a CIA operative who finds himself like the legal guardian of a 9-year-old.
Oh, I love it.
So they're letting him off the chain officially. Once Dave Bautista does this movie, he's free for the rest of his life to do whatever Fortnite he wants. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel got the pacifier. Dwayne The Rock Johnson got the tooth fairy. We're letting Bautista off the leash.
Does Statham do one? I'm sure he has. Jason Statham's been in every movie.
I was going to say, Statham can already do whatever he wants. You see Spy?
Jason Statham has been in every movie. Did you know that Spy is Jason Statham's best rated movie
I believe it.
ever?
I believe it. Jason Statham.
He was in the
Jason
Meg.
Statham lives in a good 40%er. A 40%er that I love.
Dearly. Revolver, Transporter 2.
Jason
Cellular.
Statham. I'm surprised Jason Statham wasn't in this movie. It's a Guy Ritchie movie. Where was Jason Statham?
You didn't see him? I saw him.
No.
He was holding a golden camel.
Also, hang on. Roll it back. Sidestep. Let's go with this. Okay, let's talk about Guy Ritchie for a second. I get it, okay? Ye Disney fans. Ye Disney fans, especially younger people who are seeing this movie. It is definitely plausible that none of you have ever seen a Guy Ritchie movie ever, okay? It's entirely plausible. I get that. The weird speed ramps and strange action sequences and like the super duper slow-mo, it's just gonna happen, okay? You can take the kid out of the fight, but you can't take the fight out of the kid, okay? It's just gonna happen. It's a Guy Ritchie movie. This is the man that gave us Sherlock Holmes, where Sherlock Holmes like goes into bullet time and does math.
Oh, I know. I was just gonna say he did the Sherlock Holmes films. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he does all kinds of shirt. He did Snatch, he did Lock, Stock, he did all kinds of shirt.
Actually, you've almost named his entire you've named 4 of his 6 Certified Fresh films.
Have I?
Actually,
what are the other?
One of them is
Certified Fresh. Rock and Rolla.
And The Man from Uncle.
The Man from Uncle.
None of those are Certified Fresh except Lock, Stock.
I believe it, yeah. Those are solid 40s.
Well, they're 60, 70, 60, 66.
Really?
But
that is a lot higher than I would have given any of those movies.
So his rotten are Mean Machine, Swept Away, Revolver, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and Aladdin. And I think Aladdin will end up fresh before it's all said and done. It's on the, like, 60 is fresh, 58 is rotten.
Right. Yeah, but I like Guy Ritchie. This is a, at the end of the day, it's gonna a little bit be a Guy Ritchie movie. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Like, I get that, like, Disney's supposed to be directorless or whatever, but...
No, it's not.
I'd
say once Thor Ragnarok came out, the gloves came off.
People say that though. They're like Disney movies. They say that about Disney. They say that about Pixar. Like Disney movies aren't supposed to be. You're not supposed to see the style.
I think they do that. I think that's clear when you choose a director like Favreau, who is like, I make movies.
Yeah, I make movies.
Right, but then you look at...
I am the Jeff Daniels of directors.
Right, but you start to look at, like, you look at Iron Man and Jungle Book and a couple of the Favreau films, and you're like, okay, I can...
He's doing The Lion King,
Elf.
right?
He's doing Lion King. He did Elf.
I mean, he does good movies, for sure. But he does, like, I don't know if I could look at a movie and be like, that's a Favreau movie. Unless he's in it.
Once
he's one of those guys.
Like Taika.
But it's like, I could have told you this is a Guy Ritchie movie if I did not know he directed it.
I would not have known, because I haven't seen most of these movies.
I spent a time in college. Guy Ritchie makes a lot of like movies that he makes dorm poster movies for guys that like movies.
He's made at least 2, but yeah.
Like
I would say Snatch and Lock, Stock.
Yeah, those are dorm poster movies for guys that were like, oh yeah, I mean, Boondock Saints is cool, but like, have you seen Lock, Stock?
Have you seen Snatch?
Yeah.
I feel like Snatch is the like, oh, you liked Fight Club? You probably haven't even seen Snatch.
Exactly. Are you a big Matchstick Men fan?
I'll tell you, I like Matchstick Men. You can. I'll go to the grave on that one. I think it actually got terrible reviews, and I haven't seen it since.
Bacon and Eggs on Matchstick Men Matchstick Men Lovers podcast. New episodes every Thursday.
That's exactly what it is. Oh, it got great reviews, 82%.
Yeah.
Tell me this isn't a cast you want to hang out with.
It's a good movie. You know why? Because Nicolas Cage is a good actor.
Oh, I know. And it's Ridley Scott.
Oh, I love Ridley Scott and Tony Scott. Ridley Scott's another one of those directors where I could look at it and tell you it's a Ridley Scott movie.
Yeah, you felt like Get Santa. You were like, that is Ridley Scott.
Might be thinking of Tony Scott, tell you the truth. I mix them up.
Springsteen and I, The East.
No, who didn't
Prometheus.
No, okay, I'm thinking of Tony Scott.
Do you know how many movies this dude's involved in?
Yeah, a bunch. Tony Scott's Ridley Scott's brother, but he does like Inside Man and Training Day and like The Book of Eli, and I guess I just named 3 Denzel Washington movies, but it's like you can look at a Ridley Scott movie and he did The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. He really does Denzel Washington movies. Sure. Okay. Unstoppable, Denzel Washington. He does movies that look like that. Like if you go watch any of those movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He invented Blue and Orange.
Dude. Blue and Orange. That's going to be the name of our next podcast. Blue and Orange.
I'll tell you.
A deep dive.
I'll tell you.
Into avant-garde cinema.
I'll tell you. People complain. No, that's not avant-garde. That's the opposite of avant-garde.
Please. Have you seen Blue Valentine? It's got 2 colors in it.
Okay. But either way, that's not like, that is the hallmark of like modern blockbuster cinema for the last 20 years.
Oh, I know. This movie lacks it.
Yeah, a lot of the MCU movies recently do. It's been great, but it was it was getting to the point where like the Blue and Orange was so prevalent that when they made the Avengers in 2012, people were like, "What is this? This looks weird."
Yeah, I was like, "This is colorful, fun."
Oh, but man, that Dutch angle,
the one on Thor and Avengers.
Yeah, the one that you complained about. Sense. The one you complained about on this show, and then went on to defend on Twitter like a week later.
Wow, Ethan, it's about growing as a human being and hearing things and changing your opinion about things. I thought you'd be a human being who would know about that, but I guess not.
Not when it comes to the Dutch angle on Thor and Avengers. We stan a legend.
I don't know if I'd call.
Oh, that's a great Scott. Great Scott. That's a great shot. That's all I'm saying. That's a great shot.
It was a smart shot.
Yeah. It was cool.
It turned it's a little disjointing for all of a sudden the camera to be like a total character in the film.
I don't think disjointing is a word. Something could be disjointed, but I don't think that's a verb.
Why not?
I just don't think that means what you think. I'm not sure that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's a gerund or present participle of disjoint.
I've never heard that used.
Unjoint.
I've never heard that used as a verb.
To make Snoop Dogg sober. Disjoint.
That joke was so bad I need to go vomit.
I'm glad. That's more like unjoint. Funny enough,
You just try to say the and look at the same time?
The definition is to take apart at the joints, but I thought it just said take apart the joints. And I was like, that's exactly what I said. It's a little jarring, is what I'm trying to say, Ethan. As long as we're just done with the...
I guess that, like, I've just seen 12 Monkeys enough that I don't think the Dutch angle is jarring at this point.
Well, like, there's that excellent shot in The Dark Knight, like, down on freaking the Joker in the interrogation scene. That's a Dutch angle.
No, you know what's disjointing is the GoPro on the side of the rocket ship in Interstellar.
Where you're watching the movie and then all of a sudden, GoPro time.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, this is supposed to be an effective storytelling medium, not an ad for the GoPro Hero 7.
Yeah, that's jarring, okay?
They do that in all those space movies, though. You remember Passengers?
Regretfully, yeah.
Oh, man. Passengers had everything.
Oh, man. That was a great movie.
Oh, no, it was not a great movie by any
No,
means.
it had all the potential in the world. You have Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, the two biggest stars of their day. The Brangelina of 2014, 15, or whatever that was, 16.
And you just
ruined it.
threw it away. they like even gave you 2 acts that were worth your time, and then they were like, well, this isn't going anywhere. He killed her to spend time with her. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
God. And we wonder why toxic masculinity is still a problem.
Right.
That movie was a whole movie about, like, ruining this girl's life because you want to talk to her.
He could have done it to anybody.
What if he had done it? Hold on. Hear me out. Passengers, the remake. The eventual Walt Disney When They Own Everything remake of Passengers.
I think that's one that will just die.
Chris Pratt, an older man at this point, does the thing, kicks the thing into the whatever happens, I don't remember. Opens up the pod, and there, instead of beautiful, young, sprightly Jennifer Lawrence, is Dennis Quaid.
Oh, Dennis Quaid, there he is! Did you know Dennis Quaid was in a movie that was released last week?
He was? Oh yeah, Dog's Journey.
Yeah. No, not A Dog's Journey.
He was in a different movie that released last week when A Dog's Journey came out?
Yes. Maybe not last week, but he was in a movie that came out within the last few weeks.
What movie? Because A Dog's Journey definitely came out, I think, last week.
I'm trying to find the name of it. It's a heist thing.
Well, that would be wild if he was in a different movie that came out the same week as A Dog's Journey.
Not opening this week. Top box office. Dude, are those John Wick movies worth my time? Intruder.
This is
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid is Charlie Peck.
I mean, the first trailer for this movie is a literal sex scene.
39 on Metacritic.
30 on Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic seemed to like it.
Okay.
Oh, he's like the bad guy here. He's the, here's Johnny. Look at that. He's the intruder.
Well, yeah, I would Fortnite. Hope so.
Why?
Because he's the top billed character.
Not Michael Ealy?
No, be kind of Fortnite. Weird if not the intruder was the top billed character.
Anyway, I really liked Aladdin.
It could have used more Quaid.
Could have used a lot more Quaid. He would make a great genie.
And I'm mostly saying that as a joke, because I know I referenced how we shouldn't talk about the white people in this movie. That was a joke.
What do you think of the jam jokes?
I was over it almost immediately.
Is that a callback to a Disney film? Is that what that is?
It might be. I have no idea. That's the real thing. And it just did that, like, that secondhand embarrassment thing that I hate.
I didn't like that scene
at all.
Altogether.
Yeah. It's like...
I feel like he pulled that out.
But this is such a recent movie trend, is like, oh, man, Aladdin's embarrassed. This is awkward. We're going to make you feel awkward. Don't you love to feel awkward? Like, nobody likes to feel awkward. Nobody wants to put themselves in the actor's shoes in that situation.
And I also felt like the chemistry was strong enough between all the characters that, like, it felt like they were acting awkward.
Right. It's like Aladdin and Jasmine had great chemistry. And I guess that's sort of the point, is like, he needs to be Aladdin and not Ali. Because Ali is bad? I mean, he's not bad, but he's not real.
Listen.
So I think that's what they were trying to force down my throat. But that's me, like, critically reading into a scene that just was awkward.
I think Ababwa. Here's my criticism of the genie and the grand myth of old. If the genie can make Aladdin look like a prince and can make an entire city's worth of people to walk him into a city, why not just make him a prince?
Because there were no princes left.
Make Ababwa a real place.
Right, but that he can't, like, he would have to make everybody misremember everything.
Yeah.
Because he put it on the maps and they were still like, it's definitely not a real place, dude. Like,
this isn't the thing.
So far as, like, I've never heard of a Babwa.
I also, maybe this is explained in the animated version, but I remember loving that song growing up and never knowing what the line was. Prince Ali, fabulous he, Ali.
A Babwa. Yeah, I had no idea.
A Babwa. I had no idea. And I hope that was like a retcon that Will Smith was like, Ali, yeah,
I have no clue. Because I heard that song plenty of times. Like, we played it in band.
Oh, I know. I had the solo.
And so it was...
Big shout out me.
It was like, I didn't know what the that meant as a kid. Because, like, again, I don't think I've, like, paid attention to this movie since, like, I don't know, maybe Y2K.
Good year.
So,
Y2K. Good vintage.
Like, I was just like, it's just nonsense. Like, it wouldn't be the first time Disney put nonsense in their songs. There's a whole song called Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Unrelated
which is
to
just
all this,
nonsense.
Have you seen Saving Mr. Banks?
No.
It's on Netflix. I think you should watch it. I don't know how I feel about it.
I watched part of it.
It's okay.
I was bored immediately.
It's not the most fun Mary Poppins-esque film.
I'm also just not super
Poppins.
duper interested in this, like, Walt Disney was an amazing person narrative.
Well, it doesn't really paint him as an amazing person. That's why I think you would actually like it. It kind of...
I don't know.
Like he obviously comes around and they make Mary Poppins. Like that happens. But there's an argument to be made for like he should have stopped when she said no the like 100th time.
To me, this is like when they first started like really kicking back into this we're gonna make biopics every 5 seconds thing. When they first started kicking into that, they made a movie with Greg Kinnear about the guy who invented the intermittent windshield wiper, and that's what what Saving Mr. Banks felt like to me. It's like it's a biopic that I just don't give a flying fortnight about.
You don't care about P.L. Travers?
Not really. I haven't read Mary Poppins.
See, I would like to.
You don't even watch the movies. You haven't even seen them. You're like anti-Mary Poppins.
I'm not anti-Mary Poppins. I've never seen Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
I
so
saw
no,
the
people
first
were like
15 minutes.
People were like, "Oh, well, you haven't seen Mary Poppins," and I can go find you like being angry about people saying you should have seen Mary Poppins on this show.
I'm sure I may have gotten angry about it, but again, this is like I see the error of my ways if that's the case, and I am not opposed to seeing Mary Poppins. I just never saw Mary Poppins.
I was just saying, like I would go watch the 2-hour-long movie before you dive into a book or watch the biopic about it.
Well, the biopic, I honestly didn't really know what it was about. I didn't know who P.L. Travers was.
You would have if you watched Mary Poppins and you knew who Mr. Banks was.
Well, yeah, I would have, but I didn't.
And granted, that is not a like revolutionary idea. Like, I know that there's a bunch of people out there who will watch like documentaries and biographies about like actors and directors and never watch a single one of their movies.
Yeah.
So like, I get that that's not a new thing, but that is just so baffling to me. Like, I would never have been interested. I've seen Mary Poppins. I'm still not interested in Saving Mr. Banks.
After Saving Mr. Banks, I'm much more interested in Mary Poppins.
It's a pretty good movie. I can't speak for the sequel. I didn't see it.
It's got my boy Lynn in it, so I would like to see it.
I mean, it's probably worth a watch.
I'm a fan.
But it didn't like, I don't think anybody was wowed by it.
I think that is accurate.
Like, there was just a general consensus of like, I mean, okay, sure.
We did this thing again, okay. Yeah. I think there's going to be 2 more, because there's 4 books, right?
Literally don't know. Haven't read the books.
My understanding is like a 6-year-old could read them, so I think you could probably knock them out in like an afternoon.
It has no interest to me.
I downloaded a book on Audible. Have you heard of this service?
Yeah, once or twice.
You go to audibletrial.com/eggs. You get a free month on bacon and eggs. Maybe.
Yeah, that's good until October 2020.
There we go. audibletrial.com/eggs. I found a book. I was in the bookstore looking at the summer reading box, which, by the way, Bacon and Eggs presents Summer Reading. Your summer reading list is the podcast of the future. That's the kind of books I can read and deeply discuss.
Hold on. I just want to point something out here real quick. Yeah. You just said with your mouth, and correct me if I'm wrong about where this is going, but you were like, I downloaded an Audible. Have you heard of Audible? So I was in the bookstore. And what you're about to tell me is you were in the bookstore looking at books and put that book down and was like, Fortnite. Buying it on Audible.
That's exactly what happened. The book was like 12 bucks. I had 3 Audible credits. I'm not going to spend 12.
Way of going about that.
Well, I was at the bookstore looking for expansion sets for Dominion, and they happened to have the little table of like your summer reading necessities.
Oh, they just happened. They just happened to have a table of books. at the bookstore at Barnes & Noble, the only remaining big box bookstore in the world.
They've got it figured out too. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if they push books at all. I don't know if they do any business whatsoever, but boy, oh boy, do I love those stores. I went to the bookstore and I downloaded the book on Audible. It's called The Wild Robot, and it's this really interesting take on like what AI would experience if it woke up in the woods, and it's silly, and it's like, oh, and the otters woke up the thing. And it's like, where do the otters come from? It's super adorable, and it's for like 6th graders, and I love everything about it, Ethan.
Nice.
I love it all, and it's like 4 hours long.
Nice.
And I'm so enjoying it.
Can I recommend a book about robots?
Is it a grown-up book?
It's like an absolutely remarkable thing level.
Is it an absolutely remarkable thing?
No.
Because that's a book about robots
at
an absolutely remarkable thing level.
It's called Your Robot Dog Will Die by Aaron Greenwood. And it's
I've heard of this. Is it
phenomenal.
Good? Is it?
I finally finished it the other day. Absolutely just, I like happy cried and sad cried, and it was phenomenal. It's like it's like 6 or 7 hours on Audible.
Do you ever get genuinely mad when you pick up a book that's been on your bookshelf for a while and you read it and it's good? And you're like, this story has just been sitting in my house this whole time and I didn't know about it?
No, there are very few books that I own that I haven't read. Very few.
So many books. I buy books like it's my job.
I don't. But I have also, I have put down plenty of books and never picked them back up. I think I am of the opinion that is totally okay. I do not owe anything to the book.
No, you already paid the author.
No, but, there are some people that, feel like they need to suffer through a book they don't like. And I do not feel that way.
Well, that's good.
I'm not going to...
Glad you know yourself.
I'm not going to, go out with my car and, return a book. I don't even know if you can return a book. I know that I have returned dozens of books on Audible.
Yeah. What a simple system.
I've gotten 14 minutes into a book and been like, I hate this narrator. Done.
I hate this narrator. I hate this story. The Maze Runner. This isn't even a little bit interesting. Why won't they just tell him what's going on?
I definitely have a couple times where I'm like, this doesn't work as an audiobook at all. I'm missing formatting cues and because I tried to listen to The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. So I've never been able, for whatever reason, I've never been able to finish the print version of The Book Thief. Mm-hmm. And I really want to. It's never that I haven't been engrossed in the story. It's just something compels me to put it down, and then I never pick it back up. And then I do pick it back up, and I start over. So I tried to listen to the audiobook, and I was confused within seconds.
Just immediately lost.
Just due to, the way it's formatted and, italics meaning something and bold meaning something and, different voices talking without really, he said, she said kind of things.
Yeah.
And the audiobook, I was what?
What is going on? Emily does that. She listens to a lot of books. She reads a lot of books that are the husband is a murderer or something like that. Real quick question. Did Earl have to die?
Who the Fortnite? It was Earl. Talking about the Dixie Chicks song?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Dixie Chicks song.
Yeah, Earl had to die. Goodbye, Earl.
You think Earl really had to die?
Yeah.
I mean, I get he put her in intensive care, and that's awful. Right.
She felt like she felt like that was the only way to get out. Okay, I'm not advocating for murder by any means, but it just wouldn't have been a successful song if it was had to call the police and send Earl to jail. Yeah.
Goodbye. Earl.
Right, it just wouldn't.
Well, obviously.
So no, I'm not advocating murder your spouse, but ex-spouse. I truly feel like that was the only way she felt like she was going to be safe, and it is in fact a work of fiction, and we sort of give some lenience to works of fiction because they are in fact works of fiction. I have a much easier time wrapping my head around somebody killing somebody in a book than this fascination we have with serial killers.
Yeah, no, serial killers are the worst.
Stop talking about how hot Ted Bundy is. It's not a hot take in 2019.
I could not tell you what Ted Bundy looks like.
He looks like Zac Efron, actually. It's the only reason they picked Zac Efron for that god-awful movie. He wasn't good at it either.
Well, you don't go from High School Musical to Ted Bundy just like...
There's been a couple steps in the middle there. I don't know if you know this or not. He's been in a couple movies since High School Musical.
No, I know.
High School Musical 2 and High School Musical 3.
And that musical one.
The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman, yeah. So he's had a pretty colorful career.
Yeah.
He was in the movie Zac Efron, The Ultimate Idol, as Zac Efron. Can you imagine 2009? How old was he? 17? Somebody telling you that you're the ultimate idol. Do you know what an idol is, Ethan?
Yeah, something to be worshipped in place of God.
Yeah. What the
Fortnite. No idea. Anyway, speaking of things, Aladdin.
Dude, I loved it.
I really
did.
I
had so much fun.
I have. So you
I'll tell you
said you had major complaints.
No. It's disjointed.
In what way?
There are scenes that I felt like the scene where he meets Jasmine as Prince Ali. I felt like the whole thing was you just did that great musical number, you ruined it. You killed it right here.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I agree with that.
And then the scene after he gets saved and uses the second wish is man, I'm Prince Ali now. Aladdin's dead, bro. I felt like it just wasn't the character development I expected for Aladdin's character, and it genuinely bothered me. But I did like Wise Genie. I like Genie a lot. I think that Aladdin's a weird thing because it is titled. It's got a title character and a main duo, but it is no matter what, whether you see the Broadway show, the animated original, or this version, it has to be lifted up and held up by the genie, which I think is just an interesting thing. Is that he's a supporting
and
role.
What was wild is that Aladdin, if anything, is the third role in this movie behind Jasmine.
Yeah.
Because I really loved what they did with Jasmine's story.
Oh, I did too. Her little speechless thing.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet. I'm not sure why. Probably because we're just bad people. But right. I really do love that. I thought they made her character so much less vapid and unimportant.
Yeah.
She's
Instead
less concerned about love
manic
and
pixie dream girl.
Right.
She's interested in ruling a kingdom.
Right. Not even ruling just to have power, ruling because she feels like that she can be what her country needs.
Right.
As opposed to no having to marry Prince Anders.
I also is that guy attractive?
Billy Magnuson?
Yeah.
He's the least attractive person in this movie.
That's the truth.
I mean, if I was Billy Agnes and I walked into that room, I'd be like, okay, I'm not used to this. Because you get the feeling that, like, there are usually people that think he's hot.
Yeah.
But you stand that dude up next to Marwan Kansari and even Will Smith, and, like, he just doesn't hold up.
I will say, we were talking about how it was a cohesive team. Will Smith does look and feel more experienced than the rest of this cast.
Oh, for sure. But he's the only one. He's the only one with any wisdom.
Right. And that's part of the point.
You know what I thought was wild? This is Will Smith's first Disney movie.
Really?
Like, of any kind.
Really?
Yeah. Like, has never signed a contract with the Walt Disney Corporation before.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. That was wild. It's just like he's been in everything. He's been
everything non-Disney.
He's been the face of, like, numerous franchises. He's been in more one-off movies than I can count.
Dude is in a bunch of rotten films.
I'm sure.
Last fresh film he was in was A Man's Story in 2012. I'm sorry, was Men in Black 3 in 2012.
Yeah, I absolutely believe it.
Wild. He's done some good ones, though. Like, I Am Legend is genuinely great. Pursuit of Happiness is genuinely great. Hitch, genuinely great. I've never seen ATL or Saving Face, but he wasn't in those, so there you go.
I mean, I love the Men in Black films. I love Independence Day. You know, he was great as Ali.
Ali?
Yeah, Muhammad Ali. Ali. He was great in Ali as Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
Hell, he was good in Shark Tale.
Well, iRobot, criminally low score here.
Yeah. I Am Legend, Hancock, 7 Pounds. That was 3 movies straight in a row that I loved. Oh, sorry. Pursuit of Happiness, I Am Legend, Hancock, and 7 Pounds.
Hitch is before that for starring roles.
Oh, yeah. I didn't really like Hitch, to tell you the truth.
You didn't like Hitch? I like
Not
Hitch.
as much as everything else on this list.
And
the Bad Boys movies,
I think Fresh,
I
think Fresh Prince was genuinely good.
Yeah, it was a great show. I mean, like, Bright was bad, but whatever.
I didn't watch it. I got time for that.
I did. Gemini Man looks good. There's a new Bad Boys movie coming out.
That one. I don't know about Gemini.
There's 2 new Bad Boys movies coming out. I think Gemini Man looks good. And he was the only good thing in Suicide Squad.
And he was good. He was a good Deadshot. I'd take a whole film. I don't think Deadshot's an interesting enough character for a whole film, but I'd take it.
But no, I loved, and a lot of people are complaining about that they felt like the Speechless song sort of came out of nowhere. And I loved that whole sequence.
I did too. I thought that the set piece, here we are again, was brilliant.
Yeah, that was like a let it go moment.
Yeah, I was with it.
I was all in.
The whole way.
All in. Great song. She could really sing. It was cool. Like, she's just like evaporating dudes left and right.
And then she was like, Hakeem!
Yeah, and then she turns around like, Hakeem!
I love that Hakeem was a genuine character.
Right? Yeah.
She's challenging. That was the Okoye, not Okoye. Okoye? That was Okoye's problem. She's the bald lady, the general.
Yeah.
That was her problem in freaking Black Panther. Well, I guess she comes around. But where she's like, I served a king.
Yeah, but that's like any that's the case in any royalty movie.
Right.
Is like the people guarding the king serve the king, whoever the king is.
Right.
But I never understand the mechanic of like, Genie, I wish you to make me the Sultan. Like, what did he even do other than give him a hat? Like, is the power in the hat?
Power's in the hat. I think
it doesn't strike me as a crown, you know?
I feel like what it is,
and I guess that's just like the Western symbolism in me, like, you know, a king has to have a crown or whatever, and like if you take the crown off the king's head and you put it on your head, that basically makes you king. But to me, it's like he's wearing like a turban. I don't know. That just struck me as like when they took the turban away from the Sultan.
And you said, if you had a genie and you said, I wish I was president of the United States, and suddenly you're like in the Oval Office, but everyone still remembers that you're not actually the president.
Right. That's my thing. Is like what magic did Genie do? Did he like replace it in everyone's mind? Like if I was like, I wish I was president of the United States, would I just show up and there's like a picture of me hanging behind me and like the Don's gone, and I look on CNN, it's like, surprise turn of events.
Ethan's president.
Or do I show up in the Oval Office and they just shoot me in the face?
I don't know how it happened. But then when he was like, I wish to be the most powerful sorcerer in the world, I was like, Genie, you've got it right here. He's already the most powerful sorcerer in the world. You don't have to make him that much stronger. Sorcerers aren't real.
Yeah, like, you have magic already, Jafar.
Right.
You have magic snake staff.
Right. So like, that was some straight up, hey, we see you, Voldemort stuff.
Yeah.
Where like Nagini just pops out the back and I was like, what? Here's what I wanted. I wanted Genie to make pop culture references today. I did.
I didn't, actually. It would have just felt cheesy.
It would have felt cheesy. If there had been like 1 or 2 asides to the audience that was like kind of Harry Potter-ish, don't you think? I would have been like, that's hilarious. Well done, Disney. You just screwed Harry Potter.
Yeah, but I think that like we would have been sitting here in 6 months when it came out on DVD and you watched it like, man, I hate that Harry Potter joke.
Oh yeah, I totally would have. But sell out for those movie tickets, man. Get me to see it in theaters.
You did see it in theaters.
I did.
Regardless of the lack of Harry Potter jokes.
I did.
So, like, right. I'm not usually one to defend the Walt Disney Corporation, but I think that they did a good job sort of making this a little bit more, like, timeless.
Yeah, you might be right.
Like, they saved the DJ Khaled song for the end.
Was that Friend Like Me?
Yeah, the remix.
the reprise.
Yeah. It wasn't like he did the Alibaba had his 40 thieves. Hold on. Let me do that again. DJ Khaled! It just
Alibaba had his 40
drops in like that. And they didn't make it they didn't bring in 2 Chainz for a feature.
Oh, that would have been awful.
If the carpet was 2 Chainz.
That would have been the worst thing that could have happened.
He gets halfway through the song and Will Smith's just like, take it away, carpet. Carpet's just like, 2 Chainz! Whistle a Dixie!
Yeah, I don't think you can even say the next line right there.
I wasn't gonna. If I die, bury me inside the Gucci store. And that was the thing is I went into this with not even low expectations, just literally no expectations. I thought the trailers looked alright when everybody around me was like, these trailers look bad. I didn't ever think it looked bad. I was like, looks colorful, it looks fun. It's got Will Smith in it.
You know why I genuinely love it?
Because it's got Will Smith in it.
It's got Will Smith. When I was leaving the theater, I was like, this is why I love going to the movie. And that to me is the mark of an excellent film, is I left the theater with my father-in-law who only likes Westerns, basically. Westerns and movies about sports. So you can give him...
I identify with that.
Any traditional Western. No. You can be any traditional Western or Draft Day.
Don't identify with that.
Dude's set. And we watched movies together, and I'm always like, Bill, you're gonna love this one. We watched Baby Driver. He was like, I was all right. I was like, you missed it. But he's not watching for the same things I'm watching.
Right. My dad would have hated Baby Driver too. I don't think he ever watched it. He might have.
He wouldn't have.
Look,
he would have been like, I didn't even notice that the bullets were the same time as the beats.
I'm all in.
I'm not looking for.
I'm all in on Kevin Costner sports movies. The Draft Day was not good.
I'm with you.
Look, and I am all in on Kevin Costner sports movies. Before I watched this, Aladdin, they played a preview for The Art of Racing in the Rain, and I cried.
Oh, I did too. There's a dog in it.
It's Milo Ventimiglia. It's a sports movie. It's Kevin Costner playing a Fortnite. Fucking dog. This is a movie designed to pull at my specific heartstrings.
I think there's a lot of people like you. Although I think it's gonna flop.
Oh, I'm
just
sure.
Totally flop.
I'm sure.
8 million international box office. I mean, nothing.
That's Booksmart numbers.
A solid 65%. I mean, nothing.
Release date August 9th.
Did you see Booksmart?
I have not seen Booksmart yet.
Oh my God, you have to see it.
Okay, I will. I said I already bought 3 tickets.
I'm proud of you. But you have to see it because it's good.
I mean, I'm going to.
I belly laughed at Booksmart. My father-in-law left the movie theater dancing because he was like, that was the best movie I've ever seen. And he just loved it. And that to me was a valuable experience. But it wasn't, and I loved the original Aladdin. That was one of my favorite Disney movies.
You did not phrase that correctly at all.
What?
You were like, you got to see Booksmart. I belly laughed. My father-in-law loved it, dancing out of the theater.
Father-in-law, I was going back to the other thing.
Right, but you did not say that you were going back to the other thing.
Would not love Booksmart.
That's why I was confused.
That dude would hate Booksmart.
That's why I was confused, because you did not preface that at all. You just rolled straight into that sentence, which made it sound like Bill loved Booksmart.
I can tell you right now, not even it's just not for him. They make movies for some people. They make some movies for most people, but he's not in that.
I try to be. I really do. And that's the thing is there's plenty of movies that I don't like, and
that aren't for me.
But I try
at all.
I try to be the person that every movie is made for. And I think I do a pretty decent job of it.
I think I do too, but there is a demographic that likes the Medea movies that I am not a part of.
I don't love the Medea movies, but they're not without merit.
I'll be honest, I've never seen
they're not what I'm gonna put on a rainy Sunday afternoon, but when I've been in a place where it's just on, I catch myself laughing. They're not funny.
Let me ask you a question. This is actually an important deciding factor in what kind of man you are. Nacho Libre.
Loved it.
Really?
Truthfully. Haven't seen it since I saw it in the theaters whenever it came out. Probably will never watch it again. But it was like a good theater experience, which I'll tell you about in a second. But I just truthfully enjoyed it. I love Jack Black. I thought it was a great role for him. Couldn't even tell you what happens. It has been so long since I've seen it.
Interesting.
But I saw it with my mom because it was that point and we both wanted to see it. And before because you know how they normally.
Do you think your mom really wanted to see it, or was she like, my kid wants to see this movie?
No, she dragged me.
2 hours. Really?
Yeah, she loved it. Yeah, she thought it was hilarious. She still watches it. But you know how they used to, at the movie theaters, there used to be a big infomercial that was just here are your nearest exits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so Mom and I saw this movie, and I guess that was broken that day because somebody, and there was 3 people in the theater with us. It was me and Mom and one guy seeing it by himself and a couple. And this woman walks in and stands at the front and just like screams those instructions at us. And it's just like, your nearest emergency exit is here to your left.
That
in the
girl
event of a water
was
landing, your seat
mortified.
doubles as a flotation device.
That girl was mortified.
But for whatever reason, that sticks out in my mind as the thing that happened before Nacho Libre.
Interesting.
Why does whether or not I liked Nacho Libre determine what kind of man I am?
I just think that there's a certain type of human being that loves Nacho Libre.
I mean,
and I'm not saying anything positive or negative about it.
What type of human does that make me, though?
The kind that loves Nacho Libre.
Okay. Well, I will tell you that I saw it once when I was 13, and not since. So, I don't think I was any kind of man.
Puts you in this camp. I will say this. I've noticed a lot recently that since we've started this show, my ability to watch movies is completely different. So if there was a film that came out before we started the show that I didn't like, I don't trust myself at all that it was not good.
Fair.
If it was good, I try to just preserve that positive memory and not ruin it for myself. But I find revisiting things I'm regularly like, you know what? I was way, way off about this. This is brilliant.
And this is the thing is like, I've seen a ton of movies. Like, I'm not saying I've seen more or less movies than anybody else, but it's like a lot of people will watch a certain set of movies and just sort of like keep watching them over and over again. And I'm not one to do that. Like most of the movies I've ever seen, I've seen once.
I've actually been thinking about your rewatch thing a lot lately and how you don't rewatch films. And that's fine. I mean, experience the medium however you want. But I think to me, and this is probably just the difference between us, is that you wouldn't buy them. But to me, if you buy a movie, you should feel absolutely no remorse for watching it as many times as you want. And I think we're in sort of a weird place right now where like there's Netflix, so you have this like library of films that cost almost nothing.
Right.
So like I can understand the argument for like, why would you watch something again that you've already seen?
That's my thing. Like in this day and age, why would you ever pay $20-something to own a movie at this point?
Because I like owning the movies.
Because like okay, well that's congratulations. Like I don't get it though. Like that's just you like collecting them for some reason. I don't understand.
I don't know. Why do you collect trains or Lego sets?
Because those are a physical thing that you need to have to do something with them.
That's why I buy the digital copies of the movies. So that the fictional day in the future, which is not so fictional now, where I am on an airplane and I don't want to watch one of the films they have loaded for me, I can watch The Force Awakens and feel zero guilt about it.
Yeah, you can also just rent a movie.
Not in an airplane.
If you prepare, you can.
Well, yeah, but assume I didn't prepare.
Okay, then you're a bad traveler. Congratulations.
But I'm not a bad traveler.
You win an award for not preparing.
I'm already prepared because now, anytime I get on a plane, I can just watch The Force Awakens. It's saved on my phone and it's saved on my iPad, ready to go anytime.
Either way, I'm not referring to you. I'm referring to the like I watch 5 movies people.
Yeah, no, I watch more than 5 movies.
Most of the movies that I've ever seen, and most of the movies I will see for the rest of my life, I'm probably only going to watch once. If I really liked a movie, I'll watch it again. I have no problem with that. But I don't feel the need to like sit down and rewatch a movie over and over and over again. I've never felt the need like in the last 10 years, I've felt that need with like any movie.
So we have recently switched to a watching movies before bed lifestyle. I would say we do that 3 nights a week. Honestly, probably a liberal estimate. I would say 2 of those nights I'll try to watch something new. 1 of those nights I will rewatch something.
I don't even think about it like that. That's the thing is like it just doesn't like.
Oh, I don't think about it that way.
It doesn't occur to me to like I mean, if I scroll through Netflix and I see a movie that I've seen before and I'm like, I could really go for that right now. I'll watch it.
Right, and that's sort of the feeling I have.
But like
I would say if you took that metadata over a few months, you would see that I watch about 60% films I've never seen before, about 30% films I have,
and 10% of the time you're asleep.
Right, 10% of the time I don't.
10% of the time you scroll through Netflix for an hour before you don't make a decision and then go to bed.
Yeah, I will say I very rarely watch television, and I miss out on stuff because of that. I do. I enjoy the movie medium.
I will tell you the times that I definitely rewatch movies is when I'm stuck in like Netflix choice paralysis. When like I don't go in like, oh man, I want to watch this movie right now and I'm gonna get it however I have to get it. Then I'll go into Netflix and be like, there's 300 movies I could watch right now that like I would be interested in watching. So at that point I'll just like pick the first thing that sounds appetizing and just watch it, even if I've seen it before.
You know what I would recommend a rewatch on? I don't know if we talked about this already.
What?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Nah.
Genuinely on my second time around I was like, oh my god, I love everything about this. I see no complaints.
You liked it a lot more than I did the first time as well. You also like Ant-Man a lot more than I do.
That's true. I love Ant-Man. In fact, I've been playing Marvel's Contest of Champions. If there's a way I can give out a referral code for this game, I will.
But
I only play as Ant-Man.
The last movie I bought on disc was Thor Ragnarok, and I bought it to get the director's commentary.
I still don't have the director's commentary or Thor Ragnarok because it's on Netflix.
It was not on Netflix when I bought it.
Right.
But I do have the director's commentary. I did buy it for that. And I've watched it, I think, twice since I bought it. So like I've seen it 6 times, which I would say is like very abnormal for me and newer movies. I did see it in theaters 4 times.
I've probably
But that was the advent of Movie Pass. That was a lawless wasteland.
Yeah, that was like, I'm going because I
That was like, I saw every movie that was in theaters.
Why wouldn't you?
I saw movies that like I don't even remember seeing.
I have that. We have movies on this show that I don't remember at all.
I watched something recently.
To All the Boys I Loved Before? What is that?
Oh man, we stan I don't remember his name now.
But yeah, I mean, obviously.
Peter Kaminsky.
Like,
Peter Kavinsky. Kavinsky?
Yeah.
I heart Peter Kavinsky. Whatever the Fortnite it is. There's a sequel coming out.
yeah, there's a bunch
That
of
I would
books.
probably voluntarily watch, even though I like actively hated that movie.
I did not. I remember enjoying it. I couldn't tell you what it was about. I run into that problem with Netflix shows. Like when I was binging shows, I will go through Stranger Things season 1, and I still haven't seen season 2 because I don't remember what happened in season 1. I know Barb dies, and I know 11 has got the nosebleed thing, and she saves one of the kids from a rock. But outside of that, like,
Well, you got like 36 days to catch up.
I know. And the problem is I just told somebody at work that I would revisit Avatar The Last Airbender because I haven't seen it since I was 16 and I remember having a negative feeling about it. And then you got to remember 16-year-old
the
Tyler
TV
was
show?
also really mean to people. Yeah, I was also really mean to people on Xbox Live then. So I was probably a different human being that had different tastes. So maybe I should revisit it because people seem to really like it. And I want to know why they like it.
Yeah, I can tell you what I'm not going to do is rewatch cartoons from the mid-2000s.
This is the only one I think I would make an exception for, and here's the reason. It is 3 seasons of 22-minute episodes. It is an afternoon.
That's an aggressive afternoon, bud.
It is an aggressive afternoon, but it's 3 like
No, there's plenty of other
relatively
things I could be
short
watching. I
seasons.
could be consuming new media.
right. But have you only listened to Les Mis once?
No, but that's also a completely different thing.
I don't know.
You gotta stop comparing other things to theater. Theater works differently than other things, Tyler.
Doesn't have to. You can watch.
Yes,
movies
it
again.
does.
I'm telling
it
you now.
actively has to work differently. You can't only play the theater once. Like, you cannot premiere the show one time. You have to play it for a bunch of different people because they don't film it.
I know, but you can watch the movies again because they do film.
Right, but this was the argument you were making for why Disney should remake all their Fortnite movies is because they've redone Les Mis more than once.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Oh, sure it is.
Yeah, sure. It would be the same if they only played Aladdin for one night in Los Angeles in 1992.
That would have been nuts.
That's the only time you ever got to
Nobody
see
would remember
Aladdin.
it. If they didn't come out on home release, it would make sense. If it had like a theatrical
But they do come
release
out
for,
on home
like, 6
release.
months.
But they do come out on home
I get
release.
that. But you don't watch them on home release.
But this is why they started Fortnite. And remaking movies is because there was no home release. They didn't have, like, vinyl records for movies. Like, you gathered around the television to watch PBS the one Fortnite night a year The Wizard of Oz came on.
Yeah.
That's why they started making remakes. It's pointless in this era. So you can just
Well,
with the exception of Disney, because Disney likes to lock it up in the vault
So why does a band tour if their music's available streaming?
so people can see them play live. It's completely different. Movies are a contained medium. They don't change. There's nothing different about them. You don't go.
These are the audience.
You don't go into the audience. You don't go to the theater and watch them perform Aladdin in front of you in a movie theater.
No,
There's
but
not
you experience
16
it with an
casts.
audience.
What?
You experience it with an audience.
That is never that does not change for me. Most of the time I wish the other people weren't there. Most of the time.
I would say most of the time I have a positive theater experience
Most
when other people
most
are
of
there.
the time I have a theater experience that doesn't change anything.
It's not even like an opening night when people laugh and cry. And
I don't like it when
clap.
people laugh and cry and clap.
You know what? Crap.
I definitely don't like-
Crap is probably your
I
description.
definitely don't like it when they crap. Like if you're in the theater, there are several exceptions. Like if we're watching the new Avengers movie together, we're doing that together. That's a group experience. We did this as a team.
We did.
But like
Avengers
but
assemble.
like if we're
Assemble.
watching especially, oh my god, especially with these musicals that are coming out. If you start Fortnite singing, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna come
I'll
over that
humble
chair
on a
and
little
put
bit.
my foot through your nose.
I'll tell you what. I would rather you sing than pull your phone out.
I wouldn't rather you do either.
If I had to choose, gun to my head.
Look, this
somebody
movie
sing in
already
the
had a
theater,
bad
pull their
singer in
phone
it.
out.
I don't need another bad singer, like, screaming the wrong words from across the movie theater. I'm not saying that happened, but, like, that has happened before in musicals.
So here's the question, Ethan. If I sent out an invitation to come to my outdoor theater and have everybody watch The Force Awakens, would you be like, nah, stupid, I'm not seeing that movie again?
No, absolutely not. Why would I say that?
I don't know. That appears to be your argument. Why would you rewatch it? Why don't we
That
watch
is not what I'm
something
saying at all.
nobody's
That is not what I'm saying at all. I am not saying don't rewatch movies. I'm saying that I prefer, for the most part, to take in new media, and I don't think that I'm weird for not watching every movie I've seen 17 times.
I don't think you need to watch them all 17 times. I just think it's okay to like a movie and watch it again.
Yeah, that's fine. I rewatch plenty of movies. movies, but maybe once or twice. I don't see the need to buy most of the movies because realistically, if I watch them more than once, I'm never going to watch them more than 3 times. It's got to be a movie I really love for me to watch it over and over and over again to the point where it makes financial sense for me to own a copy, especially on a physical medium.
I don't much care for the physical medium, but I do like, I don't like holding the discs, and I think the boxes that they come in are hideous. I think the artwork is fine, but like the Blu-ray box is just an ugly piece of whatever. But I do like owning. I don't know, there's something about me that likes the collection.
And that's fine. Go for it. Have your collection.
I do the same thing with books. I buy books I never read.
That's wild. Read the books.
I buy books I've read once.
Yeah, I don't think you're under any obligation to read a book more than once.
But you just go to the library.
Because they never have anything I want, or they never have what I want.
I bet they do. When was the last time you tried?
Like a year ago.
Really?
Yeah. I was
That's
real.
actually always
I
my
was
assumption
real
with the library.
broke there for a minute. I was big broke.
That's always my assumption with the library is that I'm going to go there and like if it's a book that people want to read, it will be checked out.
That's the thing is like usually when I buy books, it's like a new book.
Right.
And like they have maybe 2 copies and somebody else has got them. And like I'm not going to wait. I'm going to sign up for Audible with like an expired Visa gift card.
Right. But now I'm just going to return an Audible credit. But yeah.
Right. I'm going to return whatever book I didn't finish because I didn't like the narrator.
Or whatever book I did finish and I don't need again.
Right. But yeah, so I don't, there are movies that I would buy. Like I said, I bought Thor Ragnarok. I really like that movie. I have not yet gotten my money's worth out of the DVD if I'm just calling it on straight, like, times I've watched it, because it did, especially while it's on Netflix. That's a hard one to beat. But even if I rented it every time, I still haven't gotten my money's worth out of the disc. But I did get the DVD commentary.
I would say that's your money's worth right there.
For sure. I'm just talking about, like, on specific watched amounts, like, times I've watched it to add up to the $25 I spent on it. Haven't gotten there.
It was wrap-up time. We got to do bonus content tonight.
Anyway, so Aladdin, Prince Ali.
Fabulous he.
Ali Ababwa. Straight up though, if I was any human being in Agrabah, I would be like, Ababwa does not exist, bud. That's way too close.
Straight up, not a real
That sounds like you didn't know what this place was called.
Breakfast food. Mediterranean?
It's just jam. Just jam. Oodles of jam.
Oodles of jam. We have so many jams.
It's sweet and it's fun and it's sticky.
It is.
It
and I'm going to be singing the
sticks in your
songs
head
for a long time.
Yeah. Which these versions of these songs are better because they sound better. They do not sound like they were recorded on garbage cans in the 90s. Like, we had good recording quality in the 90s. We did not use it for Aladdin. I was listening to those songs earlier today. They sound like absolute dog shit, just from like a recording fidelity standpoint. And these songs use the full range of in the headphones, and they bang.
I have not listened to the soundtrack yet, outside of the theater. I know that One Jump was one of my favorite songs as a kid, and it happened in the movie, and I was like, how dare you? And that was a genuine, like, nostalgia, how dare you moment, which I get a lot of fans had for a lot of this movie. And maybe you had that one scene, and then it just carried through the rest of the thing. There was no redemption for you.
I think a lot of people had that one scene somewhere in this movie, and it just ruined it for them.
Yeah. Anyway, Big Board.
Oh, God.
Here's my question for you. Our Big Board is a mess. I'm going to jump all the way up to 16.
Okay. What is 16?
Which is, well, it's not actually. I think it's closer to 17. The Emperor's New Groove.
Ooh, it's better than The Emperor's New Groove.
I would agree.
Emperor's New Groove just really didn't hold up this last time we watched it. It's been really disappointing for me.
I know. It's actually broken my heart.
I'll tell you, it's not better than Bumblebee.
Okay, well, there it is then.
Were you going to say it was better than Bumblebee?
No, that's the next movie.
No, I know, but were you going to say it was?
No, I think Bumblebee, Miracle, Princess Bride, Toy Story, Batman Begins, they're all better.
I think Bumblebee was such a surprising movie. It still makes me smile to this day. Just like, again, that was another movie that I was like expecting to hate.
That was one that and like, it's in such good company in our list, and I don't feel like it needs to move at all. Like, it was genuinely that good.
Yeah, it was genuinely that good, but it also, like, it wasn't great, it wasn't perfect, it was just, it was fun, it was cute, it was nice, it was a neat little package.
Good trip to the theater.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Felt like it got my $12.
That was a good theater experience. That was a rare theater experience where I was, like, happy that I was in the theater with kids.
Do I need to call somebody, Ethan?
What? No. Like the kids were not like, don't make it weird. But the kids in the theater with me when I saw Bumblebee weren't like ruining the movie. They weren't running up and down the aisles. They weren't doing anything wrong. And I'm not just like stereotyping kids, but like I definitely had that experience where like there's been a kid just like ramming on the back of my seat, and I'm like, gosh, stop. But I had the great theater experience of Bumblebee, of the kid as soon as Bumblebee transforms out of the car, going, "Wow, it's Bumblebee!" And just like everybody in the theater just like He just like screamed it, and it was such. Kid couldn't have been more than 6 years old,
Right.
And just wasn't.
Wow,
it
it's
wasn't quite
Bumblebee.
developed enough to like put it together, the clues that they were giving you. And he transforms
Right.
into a robot, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
That's a robot.
And to like experience that moment for that kid, I was like,
Yeah.
I was there for that moment in that kid's life.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. Where do people find us, Ethan?
You can find us all over the darn place. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Bacon and Eggs Pod. You can email us at baconandeggsmedia@gmail.com, or you can find us on baconandeggs.media, which is our website that probably desperately needs updating. Because I don't think about it ever.
But it's
it's there. It does something. It's a landing page for all our episodes. I know that much. Probably. Unless that hyperlink is broken. Might be. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Anyway, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Bacon and Ethan, and on Twitter at Wow Now, but the others are zeros. Tyler's on Twitter and Instagram at Americ Harlan. Our graphic designer Vaishon's on Instagram at Vaishon.vmb. That's Victor Michael Bravo.
Graphite.vmb.
Yep, graphite.vmb, not Vaishon.vmb.
He's
He's
super good, too.
He posted a picture today of an octopus with 2 legs.
A duoptopus.
And it was rad. And you can find the wonderful composer of our music, as well as meme expert in our Facebook page, Andy Bell at Andrew Scott Bell at Gmail. No, Andrew Scott Bell on Twitter and Instagram, or AndrewScottBellMusic.com. As well as you can join our awesome Facebook group at Facebook.com/search it, because it's called Bacon and Eggs Fans, because the hyperlink is terrible.
And if you love this show, and you got a few bucks to spare, maybe go over to Patreon.com/BaconandEggs. Check out some of those sweet reward tiers we got over there. Maybe something interests you, and if you feel like the show brings you value, it would really help us if you could bring us some
And
value.
once again, go to carlinbrotherscoffee.com/discount/bacon and enter promo code of bacon for 10% off your entire order. As well as, if you love the show and you don't have a couple bucks to spare right now, totally get it. Totally understand. Head on over to Apple Podcasts or iTunes, however you want to get to it, and leave us a little review. Go to the show and leave us a review. We've got 100 couple something, 80 something as of today. Trying to get over 200. 185. Trying to get over 200. Yeah. So do that. Make that happen for us. We would love you forever. Just say something nice. Leave us a review. Leave us a little rating. Do what you got to do. I don't think I have anything else.
I don't think so either. I just feel like there's something special about the Lord of the Rings. That's all I'm going to say for now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been Ethan Edgell. He's been Tyler Carlin. Until next week, arrivederci.
Alibaba.